It was a doctor's first, and now the city's first responders are rolling up their sleeves for the COVID-19 vaccine. Danny Monteverdi has the story from EMS headquarters.
Oftentimes, it's the city's paramedics and firefighters who first come in contact with someone who is COVID positive. Today, many of those first responders began getting the COVID-19 vaccine, and they say it can't come a moment too soon. Paramedic Xander Schwartz and his partner, Alexia Archata, were the first paramedics who took care of the first known COVID positive patient in the city.
I was wondering, am I going to be hospitalized for this? Will it kind of blow over me? Everything was unknown, so it was very unnerving.
On Thursday, they were the first paramedics to get the Moderna vaccine. So when Schwartz rolled up his sleeve, it was more of a feeling of relief. Also getting the vaccine, the city's EMS director, Dr. Emily Nichols.
It's not nearly as bad as the COVID test swab.
Fire Chief Roman Nelson and Dr. Dwight McKenna, the coroner. McKenna had and recovered from the virus. He says he wants his staffers to stay healthy.
The coroner's office, who's on the front line of treating those people who have already died, whose bodies come in, our employees are the ones who are really, really affected. Our pathologists, our drivers, our investigators.
And while the NOFD is often thought of as only putting out fires, they also respond to medical calls. Nelson says he's glad the department is also getting vaccinated now.
Well, our firefighters are on the front lines every day, just like EMS.
And for those with EMS, they're grateful this day finally came. Schwartz says he knows masks and social distancing will be the routine for some time still, but he'll return home tonight with good news for his roommates.
I'm going to immediately tell them, and I think everybody is going to have a sense of relaxation, knowing that somebody in the house is vaccinated.
NOFD Chief Roman Nelson says about half of the department's 575 members have signed up to take the vaccine, and he hopes there will be more to come. Danny Monteverdi, Eyewitness News.
An NOPD spokesman says the department is scheduling officers to get the vaccine along with the NOFD and EMS.